First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
It's been less than a year since Hurricane Helene tore through the Gulf side of Florida, leaving neighbors, including those here in north central Florida, left to pick up the pieces of their lives. This is WUFT's First at 5. I'm Sierra Pulver.
And I'm Carlos Corzo. WUFT's Fontana Verde joins us live in the studio to tell us how it changed a way of living for one Gainesville family.
This is what Zoraida Gil and Edgar Monsalegre's home looked like after the storm. They lose everything when Hurricane Helene hit Gainesville in 2024. They are leaving nothing to chance this season. They say their story is a reminder of the importance of early preparation.
Esta es parte de los destrozos.
The Monte Alegres never imagined Hurricane Helene would hit Gainesville hard enough to destroy their home. Zoraida and Edgar didn't have insurance.
Me quedé sin piso, me quedé sin casa, me quedé sin rutinas, me quedé sin continuidad y toca buscar ayuda.
They realize many companies stop issuing policies as soon as a system becomes active. When that happens, insurance agent Gary Ward says it can be too late.
Make sure you have coverage now before the storm starts to come. If you do want to buy flood insurance, also do that now. There is a waiting period of 10 to 30 days, so you can't wait until the water is coming up to your back door.
After the impact, the Monte Alegres face weeks of uncertainty. However, with help from FEMA, community organizations, and volunteers, they rebuilt their home. Today, they live in a stronger house and understand true preparation goes beyond the walls.
Hemos cuidado de que no haya ningún agente peligroso preparándonos para el huracán. Pero el enemigo vino del árbol de vuestro vecino. Y tenemos uno que ahorita tenemos que encargarnos de él.
Zoraida and Edgar believe that preparation involves talking to neighbors, understanding local risk, and having a clear plan.
Hay que tener plan B, C. Hay que buscar refugios, ¿sí? Hay que tocar puertas, hay que conocernos, hay que preguntarle a la ciudad, bueno, ¿qué riesgo estamos corriendo?
For the Monte Alegres, preparation also means acting early, protecting their home, and not leaving anything to last minute. This story shows why it's important to get ready before a hurricane strikes. While the season has already started, it is not too late to plan ahead and take the necessary steps to protect yourself and your loved ones. Live in the studio, Fontana Verde, WUFT News.
It's a hot and humid Wednesday, and once again, showers and thunderstorms are developing across north central Florida. UF forecaster Aiden Wacksman is in the Weather Center tracking storms. He has more on what we can expect this evening.
Sierra, there's this one line of thunderstorms moving through parts of Gilchrist County and Alachua County right now. Some really heavy rain with this one. We've seen a couple of storms with some high rain rates. This is one of them. You can see some of those purples in parts of Gilchrist County. The storm's starting to maybe fizzle out just a little bit now, but there's still lots of lightning with that one. The rest of the evening, those storms should clear out about the 10 o'clock hour. We could still see some showers around 8 o'clock, but overall, really, we're just staying hot and very, very humid. Coming up, I'll let you know if you can expect more of those thunderstorms for the rest of the week.
President Trump says he's still weighing his options on how to respond to Iran over their nuclear plans that appear to grow each day. Meanwhile, Israel and Iran continue to exchange fire. And as Ryan Nobles reports, lawmakers are debating whether the president even has the power to order a strike on the country.
As rockets rain down in Israel and Iran, President Trump weighing all his options to keep Iran from building a nuclear weapon. According to several current and former administration officials, that includes a possible U.S. military strike.
I may do it, I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do.
Trump spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday.
He said, keep going.
The president saying he's running out of patience with Iran and called on the country to surrender. In a recorded message aired on Iranian TV, Iran's Ayatollah Khomeini scoffed at the idea and said that if the U.S. intervenes, that would cause irreparable damage. But the Trump administration has been in talks with Iran for weeks. Nothing came of them.
And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction.
Trump allies backing the president.
If diplomacy fails, use force.
But the president may need diplomacy within his own party. On Capitol Hill, Republicans joining Democrats on a resolution to require the president to get congressional approval before any action.
We should have some say-so about it, especially if it involves possible World War III, in which it could.
He's fully within his authority to act in that manner, and that is what the commander-in-chief is supposed to do.
And while the president urges civilians to leave Tehran, U.S. officials are coordinating planes and ships to take Americans out of Israel.
Because this is something that's never happened before with all these ballistic missiles. Obviously, it was not safe to stay there. I had to just come back.
Ryan Nobles, NBC News, Washington.
In a matter of hours, lawmakers and the public will gather at Minnesota State Capitol tonight to honor Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. They were shot and killed over the weekend in what authorities call a political assassination. A candlelight vigil for the Hortmans will take place on the steps of the Capitol, the Minnesota House announced. There will be no speakers at the event, but Governor Tim Walz's office said he plans to attend the vigil. The Hortmans were shot and killed early Saturday morning at their home. The man accused of their killings, Vance Bolter, faces federal and state charges. He is also accused of shooting State Senator John Hoffman and his wife, Yvette, who both survived.
Today, the Supreme Court upheld a Tennessee law restricting gender transition care for minors, delivering a major blow to transgender rights. The 6-3 ruling is likely to have a broad impact, as 24 other states have already enacted similar laws, which bars gender transition surgery, puberty blockers, and hormone therapy. It specifically prohibits doctors from administering blockers that would keep a child from undergoing puberty to become an adult male or female if they don't believe it's the body they were born into. But justices say doctors can still get this care to minors, just not for the purpose of treating prognoses that may come from a child who identifies as transgender.
New at 5, Gainesville protesters took to the streets again last night to demand dignity, due process, and freedom for all immigrants. The event at Depot Park was organized by the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Several dozen people came out with signs calling out ICE and the Trump administration. Millions took part in the No King's Day protests over the weekend across the country. They came in response to the Trump administration's controversial tactics by ICE agents to detain and deport immigrants without due process. Coming up next, when First at 5 returns, the pick to lead Florida's only public historically black university is facing pushback from students and alumni, why they are so vocal about her not getting the job.
And a blast from World War II washes up on a Florida beach. Who made the discovery and why police say there was nothing to fear? We're back after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
A telecommunications executive with close ties to Governor Ron DeSantis is now the 13th president of Florida A&M University, and it comes despite opposition from thousands of students and some notable alumni. The Florida Board of Governors just approved Marva Johnson's appointment just a few hours ago. Student leaders say they plan to speak out at the meeting. Students, alumni groups, and faculty members say they are largely concerned about Johnson's alignment with DeSantis's backed policies, such as banning funding for DEI initiatives. One of the university's most famous alumni, film director Will Packard, released a video on Instagram about the appointment last month.
Right now, FAMU is in the bullseye. Hear me loud and clear. Right this very minute, a group of activist Republicans are trying to put in the highest position of power someone who is solidly and objectively unqualified for it. Her name is Marva Johnson. FAMU deserves better.
Johnson served 8 years on the Florida State Board of Education, first appointed by former Governor Rick Scott in 2014 and continuing under DeSantis. In a statement, Johnson says it would be the honor of a lifetime to serve in this role.
Some beachgoers on Florida's Gulf Coast were shocked to learn something found in the sand recently went way beyond seashells. Lacey Lee details a decades-old bomb that was discovered by children.
Well, we first got here a couple days ago, and the first thing spotted on the beach by Logan and Macy.
I found it. I asked you, what is
Poppy,
it?
what is this? Because it's really heavy, and it was encrusted with all kind of crustaceans and barnacles. And I took a peek at it and I said, you know, it's either, maybe it's a piling or something.
Jim Jackson was confused when this washed ashore on Minnesota Key Saturday. MacDill Air Force Base confirms with me today it was a 100-pound General World War II bomb used for training.
And so we had thousands and thousands of hours of men flying out and using our barrier islands and things like that as targets to learn how to bomb before they were shipped over to Europe or over to the Pacific. So it's not uncommon for that sort of thing to be out in our waters.
Matt Johnson, the executive director of the IMAC History and Science Center, walked me through their collection of World War II artifacts, including pieces from a B-26 bomber that once flew out of Page Field in Fort Myers back in 1942. He talked about what you should do if you ever see anything like this wash ashore.
Well, the good news is most of the ordnance that was dropped around here were dummy bombs. So they were dropped, they didn't have an explosive shell in them, they were used just for target practice. So most likely it's that. But I would say this, do not touch it, do not get anywhere near it, immediately call the authorities.
That was Lacey Lee reporting. The local Air Force base said the bomb was empty and heavily rusted and posed no threat to the public.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
You know, by the look of it, I am sure many of you are dealing with some rain on the way home.
Oh, it just feels like the rain will not stop lately.
And the news is that it won't stop for the next couple of days even, but right now, if we want to take a look closer to the current time, we're actually tracking some rain in parts of western Alachua County, moving through parts of Gilchrist County too. Some lightning with these storms, some heavy rain rates. This line of thunderstorms kind of fading out just a little bit. It was a bit stronger earlier, but you could actually see in eastern Levy County there was a flood advisory a little bit earlier. That's been nullified right now, but you can see why. About 4.5 inches of rain in parts of the county. Those yellow parts, about 3 to 4 inches of rain. The ground already really saturated, so low-lying areas with poor drainage, just be on alert for some possible flooding for the rest of the evening. You can see some of these storms moving to the northeast, flowing with this low-pressure system that's moving across the Midwest, causing a tornado watch right now and a couple of tornado warnings even. And you can see a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for parts of the Midwest and parts of the Northeast as well. Some severe thunderstorm warnings in Alabama a little bit earlier too. The heat, it's been pretty oppressive as of late. 82 degrees at the airport right now, so cooling off a little bit because of those storms, but it really does feel like it's quite hot still because of that humidity. In parts of north central Florida, staying kind of in the low 80s right now because of the cloud cover. The rest of the evening, 10 o'clock is when we start to see those showers kind of taper off for the rest of the night. As we get a little bit later, still staying hot, about 75, and it'll be pretty muggy out there for the rest of the day. And tomorrow it'll be muggy too if you do plan on walking the dog. 8 o'clock is a great time to do it. It will be a little bit cooler, so yes, it'll be a bit humid, but at least it won't be 90 degrees like it is at 12 o'clock. And by the time the clock hits 4, there are going to be some chances for some showers and thunderstorms there, so not a great time to walk the dog in the afternoon. Futurecast, rest of the day today, some showers and thunderstorms possible. On I-75 tomorrow, too, in the afternoon hours, we could see some of those pop up along 95 as well with some heavy rain rates. Again, that's been a theme of a lot of the storms as of late. Not exactly big, but definitely some heavy rain rates there. And Friday afternoon along 75, still a possibility for some of those showers and thunderstorms to pop up. Into the weekend, too, again, showers and thunderstorms possible. This cold front, some rains ahead of this front are possible Friday into Saturday, too. Lots of cloud cover there. So pretty cloudy weekend overall. Not exactly a great beach weekend unless you go on the early morning, afternoon hours. It's going to feel really hot for the rest of the week. 98 degrees here is going to be the feel-like temperature tomorrow, but Friday is when it really heats up. We're going to be feeling like it's around 100 degrees here in Gainesville, 103 degrees in Stark. It's just going to feel like it's really, really hot out there. Taking a look to the rest of the week, you can see that the temperatures are staying above average and the rain chances might taper off at the beginning of next week. I'll have one final look at the weather coming up.
Florida men's basketball officially started summer practices, and we now know who the reigning national champs will face in conference play. The Gators will take on Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, LSU, Mississippi State, and Tennessee at home. On the road, Florida will battle Ole Miss, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt. And finally, get your popcorn ready because Todd Golden's crew will play Georgia, Kentucky, and South Carolina twice. Gator boys, Colby Shelton, Jake Clemente, Brody Dene, and Pierce Capola have all accepted invitations to the 2025 Major League Baseball Draft Combine. The 5th annual Combine started Tuesday and will end on Saturday out in Arizona. Capola and Shelton were draft eligible a year ago, but this is the first year for Dene and Clemente. These are not the only eligible Gators for the 2025 draft. However, they are the only 4 to accept invitations to the Draft Combine. Finally, Gainesville area rowing had a record-breaking weekend at the U.S. Rowing Youth National Championships. They earned their highest finish ever, a silver medal in the women's youth pair. They also included a B final win for the men's youth 4. That's it for sports, but we'll have more from weather after the break.
It looks like it's going to be a hot and muggy rest of the week. The Friday could have some rains ahead of a cold front. For the rest of the weekend, rain chances could taper off a little bit, but we are still staying really hot out there and around the mid-90s. It's just no break from the heat at this time of year.
Thanks, Aiden. And thank you for joining us. We'll be back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org and on all of our social media platforms. Have a good night.